One more? Oh, good. Sorry, Brian. Take your time.
I got it.
I will have a call to order and our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty, and justice for all.
Ms. Benitez?
Present.
Mr. Axiotis?
Here.
Mr. Burke?
Here.
Mr. Rufner?
Present.
Ms. Stemper?
Here.
We have any changes to tonight's agenda? All right, special presentations by staff members or invited consultants. Mr. Dan Bryant from AMVETS Post 112. Sir, please, come on up.
I need a mic. Thank you, Mayor, Council.
Come on right up to the
All right, thank you, Mayor, Council, rest of the attendees. Hey, Walt. I'm speaking on behalf of the AMVETS Post 112, and I'm Finance Officer of the AMVETS Post 112 and the Commander for Army-Navy Union, along with my fellow constituents, Commander Jim Yost,
Hey, Jim.
previous Commander Walt Snyder for
Hey,
American
Walt.
Legion. Just want to give you a quick rundown of what we do for the community and surrounding communities. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, over the last year, we probably donated over $300,000 to school, scope, local charities. We support the boosters a lot, and just with over, how old's the, I know the AMVETS has just hit 65 years. The Army-Navy Union is over 80 years old. We appreciate you letting us speak today. Do you guys have any questions for me or anything?
No, I just want to say the veterans organizations in our town here, absolutely phenomenal. And you guys, you know, you don't hang it out. It just comes because you want to do the right thing. And, you know, it's just amazing. I know what you guys have done in the past. It simply is amazing what you have done and what you have been doing, and hopefully what you'll continue doing. So I just want to tell you, a job well done, gentlemen, and thank you from the bottom of our hearts, the community, you know, what you've accomplished.
Well, as one of the younger members, and we're trying to get more recruits in, these guys inspired me growing up to, you know, re-engage in the community and do a little self-service, because I believe that's what we plan on doing, gentlemen, correct? I know Jim and Walt dedicated a lot of time, not only in this community, but in other communities for years. I don't know, Jim, would you like to speak to the VFW?
Come on up, Jim.
Well, on the behalf of the VFW, I'm a Vietnam veteran, just like my cohort Walt. We spent a year in Vietnam, and we know when we came home, we weren't really treated very well, as I'm sure you all know that.
Yeah.
So consequently, it took us a lot of years to get over the fact that we were kind of kicked to the curb. But we finally got over that, and we've tried to let the younger guys like Dan realize what it's all about being a veteran. And I've been involved 40-some years. I think, Walt, you've been involved a few years like that. It's been very rewarding, and I can honestly say that I'm proud to be an American. Thank you for everything that you think about us. So I'm very grateful to be here. One thing I have to say about Newton Falls, I'm not from Newton Falls, but I never saw a community that sticks together as much as you people do. It's amazing. Now you take the AMVETS VFW, American Legion, and the Army Navy. Is there any place around that has those four?
Yeah.
I think we're still waiting for Google to come up with an answer, 'cause I think we're the only city in the world that has.
We're more of a tribe here than a town.
Take Warren, for instance, they only have one VFW, they don't have the rest. Niles only has American Legion VFW. You know, it just does not exist, so I'm very impressed with Newton Falls, the way they handle things over here, even though there's always controversy sometimes, but,
We're moving past that. We're
that's
done
good
with
to hear, that's good to hear.
that. Done with
But thank you for everything that you appreciate from us. Thank you.
Well, I just have to tell you again, that the thanks are all ours. And, you know, the community, sometimes they don't get out to address or thank, but you've done a lot of good work. And it's in the right spirit. You know, when you're putting things out in front of people and saying, here, I gave you this, I gave you that, you guys don't do that. You serve. And it's a wonderful thing you've done. And I want to thank you guys, because you don't get the thanks and appreciation that you deserve. So once again, from everybody in town, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you 3 times. Thank you all.
Mayor, do you want,
We got some-
we have the proclamations that we presented at the high school. If, Mayor, do you mind if you read
Oh,
one?
I'd love
And then
to.
we can give each of your organizations a copy of one?
It's a proclamation honoring the United Military Presence and service to our community. Whereas the Village of Newton Falls stands proudly as the only community in Ohio where all 4 military organizations are actively represented by serving locally, the American Legion veterans, AMVETS, Post 112, Veterans of Foreign Wars, VFW 3332, and American Legion Post 236, and Army Navy Garrison 271. And whereas these distinguished organizations embody the highest traditions of service, patriotism, sacrifice, and representing the generations of men and women who have defended our nation's freedom and continue to contribute meaningfully to our community. And whereas the members of those posts and units provide steadfast support for veterans, military families, and fellow residents through volunteerism, mentorship, and civic leadership. And whereas their ongoing partnerships with local institutions, especially the Newton Falls Exempted Village School District, strengthen civic pride, promote education, and inspire a deeper appreciation for the values of duty, honor, and community. And whereas the Village of Newton Falls recognizes the exemplary unity shown when 4 distinct service organizations work together within one small but mighty community, exemplifying the power of collaboration and shared purpose. And whereas it is fitting that on Veterans Day, November 11, 2025, we pause to acknowledge and celebrate the remarkable contributions of these organizations and the veterans that they represent. Now, therefore, let it be proclaimed that Village Council, the Mayor of Newton Falls, Ohio, do hereby recognize and honor American veterans, AMVETS Post 112, Veterans of Foreign Wars, VFW Post 3332, American Legion Post 236, and the Army Navy Union Garrison 271 for their extraordinary service, dedication, and ongoing commitment to both our nation and to the Newton Falls community. Be it further proclaimed that the village extends its deepest gratitude to all who serve and have served, and encourages the continued partnership among these organizations, the school district, and the civic leaders to foster education, remembrance, and unity through our community. In witness, therefore, I hereunto set my hand and cause the seal of the village of Newton Falls to be affixed this 11th day of November 2025. Thank you, gentlemen. Would you come up here and...
Picture.
Thanks for your support.
No, thank you guys very much. Those kind words, they ring true, and I wouldn't throw them out there if they weren't the truth.
We would stay, but we have an AMVets meeting at 6:30, so we have to run.
You're missing cocktail hour, too.
If anybody knows anyone that had a veterans banner put up in town, we have a bunch of them in my office that haven't been picked up
I
yet.
need mine.
And also, anytime, we're taking applications for next year, up until April 4th, I know it's kind of premature, but they, yeah, so if you know anybody that wants a banner, they're $75, and they can come up here and get the application.
Absolutely. Thank you so
much.
much.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
All right, Emily Zalfini. Did I say that, Emily? Say that right?
Yes, you did.
All right, and you are from the Southern Region Water Director, no, are you?
That's my title.
Okay, and also Home Serve NLC Service Line Warranty Program. Is that all? Is that
Yes.
everything you cover? Nothing else?
Don't worry, I'll
All
repeat
right.
it for you.
Quite
Thanks so
quite a
much.
bit you're covering there, Miss Emily.
Well, thank you all so much for giving me your time this evening. Again, my name is Emily Zalfini. I represent the NLC Service Line Program by HomeServe. I always like to start with just a quick little background on HomeServe, the company I actually work for. We administer the program. We've been in this business for over 20 years now. We're currently working with over 1,300 utilities and municipalities all across the country. We serve about 5 million of their customers. We have a strategic partnership with the National Rural Water Association, as well as the only service line program currently endorsed by the NLC. But what this program is really designed to do is to help address some of the public policy issues related to aging underground utility infrastructure, which is obviously starting to plague a lot of the communities across the country. So we know communities like yours are always doing everything you can to update and maintain all sorts of public infrastructure. But on the residential side, there's not really much you can do. So that doesn't really stop your residents from still kind of looking towards the city for assistance or advice in these sorts of situations. So that's why what we actually do is we partner with the community. That's what allows us to make our voluntary program available for your residents. Then our first goal is to educate your residents on the fact that they are actually responsible for the water and sewer lines on their property, while at the same time, we do also offer protection on their external water lines, external sewer lines, and also in-home plumbing. It's done with a very turnkey approach. So we handle really everything from the marketing, billing, claims, customer service, really all of it's handled by us. And it is something that costs the city nothing. No public funds are ever used. In fact, we can actually offer a small revenue based on participation. But what I think is most beneficial about this program is that educational piece. So I've been with the company for 10 years and still hear kind of the same thing over and over, that if a resident does have an issue with their water or sewer line, their first call is often to the city. You ask some questions, maybe send someone out depending on the situation, and oftentimes you're finding the issues on the residential side. And then not only is there not really much that you can do to help, but whoever speaks with them ends up being the bearer of bad news and having to let that person know this is their responsibility. Usually homeowners insurance policies don't really cover that. And a lot of people don't really know or maybe don't fully understand that. And I always admit, even though it's a little embarrassing that I fell into that category myself prior to working for HomeServe. When I started, I'd owned my home for 5 or 6 years. And I had an idea that I was responsible for the lines on my property, but I really thought that they would just be covered by my homeowner's insurance. They're part of my home. So if I had found out that it wasn't, because of some sort of major issue, I can, only imagine having to do the research, find a contractor, kind of pay for everything out of pocket. So I kind of like to think of the program almost like a free public awareness campaign for the city. Because what we'd be doing is sending out a letter to each resident, letting them know which portion of their line is actually their responsibility, and then letting them know that the city is working with us in order just to make sure they have some options available for coverage if they want it. That way, the city, even if no one actually enrolls, you can say that you've taken sort of a proactive approach in making sure people know what they're responsible for and then do have those options available to them. Of course, for those who do enroll, we offer them a little peace of mind. Basically, for a few dollars a month, they're transferring the risk of their lines to us. And then if they have any sort of issue, whether it's a broken, cracked, leaky pipe, tree root penetration, clog, frozen lines, whatever it might be, they just give us a call. We have US-based call centers. They're available 24 hours a day, 365 days of the year. And we work with local area contractors for all of our repairs. So that's one of the key pieces of the program. We think it's really, really important to keep the contractors as local as possible. And we do it for a few reasons. Number one, we do want to try and keep the money within your local economy as best we can. But we do also expect that local contractors should be well aware of any codes or requirements or just anything at all unique in the area. So we expect them to get the job done up to the city standards, not just ours. That includes any licensing or permits that might be required. When it comes to the selection of those contractors, we sort of let our municipal partners be as involved or uninvolved in that as you'd like. So if you have any recommendations for who's great or maybe not so great, we always appreciate that. Even just a list of the local contractors so we have a good starting point, that's also appreciated. But no matter what, we do go through our own vetting procedures. So we make sure that they meet all state and local requirements. And then we also go as far as running background checks and drug screenings. So we just try and do anything we're able to from our end to hopefully make sure that the contractors we work with are people residents are going to feel comfortable having come to their home. Then on the contractor side of things, we don't charge them. We don't ask for a portion of the job. We don't even tell them what they can charge us. They can still charge us their standard rates. Then when it comes to the homeowner, they would have 3 completely separate, completely voluntary options for protection. So there's one for the external water line, one for the external sewer line, and then the third for the in-home plumbing and drainage. Part of the reason we actually partner with the community is so that we can make sure that we're tailoring the coverage for the 2 external lines to what the homeowner is actually responsible for, and that we can include that information specifically in that letter as well. But those 2 external lines, the coverage works pretty much identically. What someone would get would be up to $8,500 of protection per incident, no service fees, no deductibles, no annual or lifetime limits. We also do not limit the number of claims that they can file in a year. Third option is the in-home plumbing. So that one basically just picks up where those 2 leave off. That one is for any water, sewer, or drain line inside the home. It does also include simple things like a clogged toilet. Again, always on a per incident basis, no service fees, no deductibles, no annual or lifetime limits. Basically, when this was put together years ago, they decided they didn't want a $100 service fee or whatever they might charge now to stop somebody from giving us a call so they can go ahead and get their issue taken care of as quickly as possible. And of course, people tend to be a lot more proactive when they're not worrying about searching for a contractor if they don't know somebody or paying a ton out of pocket. I always like to point out that this is generally not designed to be a reimbursement program. So it's almost opposite from what an insurance policy claim would work like. So the way it's designed to work is if a resident has an issue and they're enrolled, they give us a call, we send the contractor out to them, then once the job is complete, we're actually paying the contractor directly, so no money's exchanging hands up front. They're not having to fill out any paperwork and file a claim and waiting to be reimbursed or anything like that. Another thing that I do always like to make sure I go over here, because it's kind of the meat of the agreement between my company and the city, is how we actually market. So we only market by direct mail. There's no door-to-door, there's no telemarketing. We try not to bombard people with too much mail. We have a maximum of 3 marketing campaigns each year. Those campaigns do generally consist of 2 letters, so 1 letter goes out, and then a pretty much identical reminder letter goes out several weeks later. Once those letters officially go out, that's what triggers the availability of the program for the residents. So at that point, they can enroll either by filling out the form on the letter with a self-addressed envelope, they can go onto our website, or call into our toll-free number to enroll and get some more information as well that way. But the city's involvement, in order to ask you or to have you sort of introduce the program in what we think is the most turnkey, least work for you way possible, we do ask for the use of the city logo on some of our marketing material, particularly the outer envelope. It's really what gets people to actually open our letters and read them. Of course, the people who read them, the more likely they are to enroll, the better we're able to maintain the program, the contractor network, pricing, coverage, all of that. But because we ask for the logo, we would also ask for review and approval of any marketing material before it goes out. So 3 times a year, we send over all of the marketing material via email, give you a chance to review everything. Our messaging is always flexible, so we will work with you on that. Once we get an approval from the city, we let you know exactly when we'll mail, so you know right around the time the residents would get it in the mail. And then if for any reason you do not want us to mail, we just don't. That's absolutely fine. If there's something going on and you think it's bad timing, that's totally fine. We will just move on to the next campaign and reach out then. We think it's really important that anything that's going out under the city's name in any way, you have the final right to review and approve what it says and when it actually hits the mailboxes. And then the last thing we ask of from you would be to basically approve the idea of the program in general and enter into what we refer to as our marketing agreement. Really just sums everything I just set up in writing mostly, gives us the right to use that logo, but only with a final review and approval from the city first. So I know that was a lot of information. Like I said earlier, we do have around 1,300, I think it's closer to 1,400 at this point, partners across the country. That includes, I believe we're up to 60 now in Ohio, and we've saved residents here just over $32 million whenever I checked earlier this morning in repair costs. So again, I appreciate you all listening to me patiently, and did anyone have any thoughts on the program or questions I can help with?
Is there any local municipalities or cities that?
So we
you're
do
working
have
with them?
several. We had Warren, Niles, Girard, Cortland, Youngstown, Alliance, Akron, and Cleveland were some of the closest ones I
Okay.
thought earlier.
Anybody else have any questions for Ms. Emily? Well, it seems like a good option for people, and, you know, with aging infrastructure, you know, there's always going to be issues, and this is a historic town now, so there is definitely some aging infrastructure issues. Please.
I just have one question on the billing piece. Is that something, is the cost added to their current electric bill that we send out, or is that something you bill separately?
No, it would be something we bill separately. So they'd enroll with us and we bill them directly.
Okay.
You don't have to get involved in any of that.
Okay.
I always like to mention too with the billing, we always consider customers to be month to month. So if they did enroll, they have the option if they want to pay a full year up front. But let's say they end up with getting their line replaced 6 months in, they can actually drop the coverage and they'll be reimbursed for any unused months. Or if they move or anything else, yeah.
Is that your company that has the TV commercial?
Oh, probably.
With the guy in the shower?
Yes, that is our company,
that's your-
unfortunately. That is our CEO. I don't know what he's thinking with that one.
Yeah, I
Yep.
know someone who wants to meet the guy in the shower.
Not my favorite commercial I've ever been attached to.
You know what, it worked because I remembered it.
It's true.
All right.
Mayor,
I think my
Please,
turned red with that one.
one quick follow-up question on that. I'm somewhat familiar with some of the home warranty programs and everything, and everybody always worries about that what if, act of God that's not covered. Do you have any kind of a comprehensive list that will explain to the customer what is and what is not covered under these plans? Because I don't want, if you're intending for us to put our city seal on this information going out, that kind of puts us on the hook in a way, in the eyes of this the community. I want to make sure that our customers are fully aware that, the silver lining that everything is covered is not the true statement. So is there something that will break it down in detail to the customer that says, under this circumstance, yes, this is covered, but through let's say a high water event where water comes up through your drain in the basement, like I have happened repeatedly at times, what is covered, what is not covered? Is that in fact a covered item? Is it not? Or,
Right.
I just want to put as much information out to our community as possible. Because like I said, we're the ones that you're going to put our stamp on it. We're the first call. We're the first ones they're going to look at. And our department heads are the first ones going to be like, hey, we want answers.
Yep.
And, I'm not against these type of programs, but I want to be as upfront and honest about them from the get-go. I don't want to have to come back 3, 6, 9 months later and go, oh, well, there's more to that story. So I want to make sure that all the information's out there.
Yeah, so, and we actually already talked a little bit before the meeting, but I'm going to provide them with the terms and conditions. I'm just going to request the most updated ones in Ohio here. Probably have it over to you tomorrow. So that way it has all the inclusions, exclusions, anything that might be left out.
And in non-legal terms, correct? Other
Yeah,
words?
it's pretty straightforward. It's
Right.
actually what the customer would receive if they actually enroll. So even in the case that somebody does enroll into a program and then they look and see in the terms and conditions something wasn't covered, they can cancel.
Okay.
So they're never locked in for any time period.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. One of the biggest fears people have is some of the warranty programs that aren't really covering the things you expect, so understandable.
That's all I've got, Mayor.
That's it? Thank you, Ms. Emily.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to item 11, public comments. And that would be on agenda items only tonight. All right. You got, no? All right, good. All right, next we have reports. Tonight, the mayor has nothing to report. I'll turn it over to council.
I do.
Mr. Axiotis, do you have anything you'd like to report?
Yeah, I was at a planning and zoning meeting last night. Unfortunately, we had to adjourn early due to a lack of quorum. I just want to kind of reach out to the public and say that come January 1st, I think we're going to have 4 vacancies on that board. These committees are important for the city to run. They're important. They serve a purpose. Last night's meeting was to go over the plan and the variances needed for the new Circle K. That we have a company who wants to come here and invest in this town, build a new store and gas station, and if we can't get these committees to function, that stuff just can't happen. And that's, I think, to the detriment of the people who live here. This is why we need people on those boards. So I ask, please, like I said, January 1st, we're gonna not have enough people to hold meetings there. Those things are gonna grind to a halt, and there's nothing I can do about it. I mean, it's the way the charter's structured. Those committees have to be staffed by a certain number of people, and so if you're interested, please, by all means, reach out to anybody up here. It's not just planning and zoning. I think the other committees have vacancies as well. We're just trying to get things done. We need warm bodies in those seats. So if the commitment's like 1 day a month, maybe a little bit of reading, understanding, the different things that those committees cover, but it's not that much, and we would appreciate the help. So thank you.
Ms. Pat, you have anything for us tonight? Ms. Julie?
I have nothing.
Mr. Burke?
No, I do not.
Mr. Rufner?
Real quick, just want to put a quick plug out for the Commerce Association and all the organizations that were involved in the tree lighting ceremony. It went off very well. It was a little chilly, but still, it went off very well. It was great seeing a lot of people up there I haven't seen for a while in town visiting for the other holidays. So, again, much appreciated, and thanks going out to everybody out there.
Thank you, Mr. Rufner. Ms. Jamie, do you have anything for us tonight?
Just a real quick review of the reports from the finance office. I placed them in front of everybody on council, just kind of highlighting the general fund reserve as always. This is the money that can be used for most purposes. And the combined balance between the two now has placed us above $1 million in the ending balances. And the rest of the balances are there and available for everyone to review. And that's pretty much everything for me tonight. Thank you.
I will move on to item 13, which is approval of previous minutes. And that was from the regular meeting minutes from November 19th, 2025.
I'll make the motion.
Yeah, I had,
Mr. Axiotis and Mr. Burke.
there was one mistake. And the, who was present at the meeting?
Bob Burke wasn't here, right?
Right?
Bob wasn't here?
Correct, he wasn't here.
He's listed
That's
as
the only-
being present, and then
That's the only thing I
there's a
saw.
motion to excuse. So we have a motion to amend the minutes to correct the roll call.
Do you need the motion made or seconded?
I need a second.
Okay, I will second.
Any discussion? Mr. Rufner,
Yes.
Mr. Burke,
Yes.
Mr. Axiotis,
Yes.
Ms. Benitez,
Yes,
Ms. Stimpert.
Yes.
So the amendment passes 5-0. Is there a motion to amend? Or is there any other discussion? We need a motion to pass as amended.
I'll make the motion.
second,
Mr. Rufner and Ms. Benitez. Mr. Axiotis,
Yes.
Mr. Burke,
Yes.
Mr. Rufner,
Yes.
Ms. Stimpert,
Yes.
and Ms. Benitez.
yes.
Passed 5-0 as amended. Thank you.
All right. Good, Mike? Okay. Move on to item 14, which is public, public hearings. This is ordinance 2025-58. This is an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into contracts specified herein for the purchase of chemicals needed by the Village of Newton Falls Water Plant for the calendar year of 2026. All right, now on to unfinished business. This is ordinance 2025-58. This is an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into contracts specified herein for the purchase of chemicals needed by the Village of Newton Falls Water Plant for the calendar year of 2026.
I'll make the motion.
Second,
Mr. Axiotis, Ms. Benitez, discussion. Ms. Stimpert,
Yes.
Mr. Rufner,
Yes.
Mr. Burke,
Yes.
Mr. Axiotis.
Yes.
Ms. Benitez.
yes.
Passed 5-0.
All right, now on to new business. Any new business?
None.
All right. All right, public comments, limit of 3 minutes. Public comments? All right. All right, closing remarks. You know, I just want to say that the gas company is making a hell of a mess uptown. They've got dirt, crap, corruption, and everything on my desk, my office shaking all over the place with those jackhammers. Does anybody know when they're gonna be out of here? No, not soon enough. All right, that's it for the mayor's remarks. Mr. Axiotis, do you have anything, sir?
I don't. I think I said it all earlier. Just that, you know, we need help on the boards, Treasury and Investment Boards, down people, I think Parks and Rec. So like, you know, please, anyone help us out. We could use it for sure.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Ms. Pat, do you have anything for us?
Nothing.
Thank you, Ms. Pat. Ms. Jolie?
Fire board meeting's December 16th at 6 o'clock. That's all I got.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Burke?
Yeah, I just want to say the street department and the other departments that helped with the snow removal did a wonderful job.
Yes, they did.
That was the fastest I've ever seen that done. So I just want to commend them. They did a great job, everyone that was involved.
Thank you, Mr. Burke, for recognizing that. Mr. Rufner, sir, do you have anything?
Nothing, Mayor, thank you.
Thank you. Do we need a motion to recess into executive session tonight? All right. You have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
I'll
Second.
second.
Mr. Axiotis,
Excited.
Ms. Stempert, Ms. Benitez?
Oh, yes.
Yes, Mr. Axiotis?
Yes.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Mr. Rufner?
Yes.
Ms. Stempert?
Yes.
Passed 5-0, 6:37.
Okay. The mayor.